So, where we left off? Oh yeah, I restored the James 1 and 2. Now, my AU James and my stock standard James with using the parts from James 3, which was a 10-year-old James I brought at the same flea market where I got this James from. Okay, so this is how they looked in the last video, just normal James without paint, and now they're now James with paint. Right, so let's start off with something simple. Right, so let's go through stock standard James. Now, like what you probably already know by now, this is supposed to be James if you would have got him from Walmart from all those years ago. So it doesn't have a right running board, nor any painted details. Just again, stock standard James. Ow. I need to get a phone stand for Christmas anyway. So, as you see, his face is still white. Touched up his eyebrows. And also I repainted his stripes. Now, a bit of black Sharpie ink did get on the running board and cab, but I can scratch those off or rub them off. I repainted the dome because it was chipped. And also, I gave him new stickers. Now, these stickers are a bit small than the original, so I might print some new ones. The thing with these stickers is, after I print them out, I sprayed them with a clear glass coat. Now, I can't do any spray painting because it's really cold outside, and the cold weather with high winds and spray paint doesn't really mix well. Makes a bad product anyway. So yeah, I will replace these stickers in the near future, but for now, they're fine. Here's the other side. Now the reason why this is all marked up is because while I was placing the other sticker, this side was facing the ground on my most roughest part on my desk. Yeah, nothing more to say here. It's just stock standard James. And also about the battery cover, I might get a new one, or yeah, I'm planning on getting a new battery cover for him. Probably a resin or 3D copy or an original one. You'll just see. Anyway, now for something way more special and with a lot more paint. My AU alternate universe James is non-binary, which means they're technically both genders, and they go by the pronouns of they, them, or he, she, if they are okay with it. Now, unlike stock standard James, I did paint the stripes and also the handrails and whatnot. And also, instead of printing some new stickers, I just colored in some new windows with the existing leftovers of the stickers. Also put a little number 5 and a non-binary symbol. I could have just used a sticker, but since I already printed out the original sticker sheet for these stickers, and I don't want to waste any more sticker paper, because I'm trying not to be wasteful, I decided to just paint the number. Now, it ain't that bad, to be honest. If I were to did that years ago, it would have looked like shit. And I also painted the cab opening black. I could have painted this entire back part black, but yeah, I don't want to do it since it will just look generic. Like, I don't know how to say it, but anyway. Running board is also painted white, and if you look closely, yeah, it's not a good flat finish. It just looks like a bunch of crumpled up white shit on the running board. It's not that noticeable. Yeah, I just let it slide. Anyway, yeah, I put some makeup on the face. Now, originally, the face looked like this, but after the spray paint, after the clear gloss coat, that's the reason why this James is more shinier than the other James, is because I gave this James a gloss coat because James is a really splendid engine. Yeah. Also, when I sprayed the clear gloss coat, it kind of messed up the original Sharpie ink, making it more wet and drippy. So I have to go in with a sharp tool and just scrape some of that stuff off. It looks decent again, but at the same time there are some noticeable marks of me scratching the original Sharpie off. Now, the tender, again, based after my AU James, Northwestern Railway. And yeah, also golden side rods with red crank pin. Yeah. Oh yeah, and the special thing is I actually replaced the motor on this James since the original motor was weak. Now, I ran through a couple of motors. I went through 2 RC motors from a cheap RC car that I cut up a long time ago. And those 2 were just crap. If you're going to replace a Trackmaster motor, do not replace it with a cheap RC car motor, because they're not powerful to actually move the engine or pull any loads. They're just powerful enough to move a light plastic car with a couple of 3 AA batteries. Anyway, the last motor I put on this engine, and the motor it has right now, is a motor from James 3 actually. I have a sneaking suspicion James 3 was a talking James, since it had like a couple of wires coming from it, or copper wires coming from it, and it has that little circuit thing that looks like a medicine tablet on 2 wires. Not only that, from that same person I got this James and James 3. They also had a talking Percy, so that's where I'm getting my sneaking suspicion. But either way, it wouldn't matter because that James has already been damaged. Anyway. Oh yeah. The white walls on the wheels, since the paint marker I'm using is kind of thick, which now I'm thinking of getting some white Sharpie paint markers instead of these painter markers from Walmart. But yeah, it was very chunky and it comes off very easily, and it needs a long time. Of course it come off easily since the engine will be running, and since it's not like a model train where it has flanges it could go on. It's just the engine go on a track and the wheels just rub against the track, making these white walls to chip. But anyway, yeah, these white walls chip easily because the paint is just thick, and yeah, I might go over these white walls again in the future, but at the moment, since we all locked indoors thanks to the cold weather, I just have to live with James as he is right now, which he ain't that bad. By the way, this James isn't completely my AU James, since my AU James is a mixture between the James's bases and the TV series James, with the brake part right here and the black running board with white stripes at the sides. But the reason why I did that because, well, I want this to also blend in with my other Tomy engines instead of being like just one-off that doesn't fit in with the rest. I mean, he doesn't fit in with the rest, seeing how he has this and I don't know what else to say, but this gloss coat. But he does fit in well. Alright, so that's all that I have to say. Now I'm gonna put these Jameses on the layout, let them run around again, but this time with their new coats. Well, this one barely had any coat. He just had a restoration, a minor restoration. But either way, time to put these Jameses on the layout. By the way, even though this James has a new motor, he's still a bit weak, and the only way he can actually have enough pulling power is if he has a new battery, which this is a new battery. If I had a weak battery, then he would just, how would I say it? He would just struggle trying to pull a train. Now, of course, some people would say, well, no shit, if an engine's battery is weak, then it wouldn't pull anything. No, but here's the thing. Normally, when an engine has a weak battery, they'll go slow, but they'll still be able to pull a train. James, well, he just stops completely. No sound. Not only that, if you hold a Trackmaster engine by its wheel while it's on, you notice it have a clicking noise. If an engine doesn't make that clicking noise, then it means it's weak. If it does make that clicking noise, then it still has a lot of power against your thumb, which is holding, or your finger holding against the wheel from moving, if that makes any sense. This James, even though the battery's used and he already been pulling a lot, and also this motor is also weak. But he can still pull. There's still enough power in this motor. But yeah, if y'all know any good motors out there for Trackmaster engines that isn't super fast, just a normal motor that can pull like a long rake of cars, then let me know, please. So those are my two Jameses, and hey yo, who's that?